Hello, guys. Thank you so much. Welcome back to your week 3 reading, or welcome to your week 3 reading, but welcome back to our readings in general. This reading is going to be for the week of September 19th to September 25th. But that's right, you guys know, if you've been listening, then you completely understand that these readings are timeless and signless. Okay, so it is for whoever it is, whenever it is, and whatever it is. As always, and I'm really trying to make sure I include this in the beginning of the readings, yes, you have found me. Hi. Yes, you're here, but it is still your responsibility to exercise discernment before. I love how my throat trembled when I said discernment, okay? That's the D, guys. Don't get listen. PG, keep it PG, okay? Discernment. You must practice discernment, okay? If you were not paying attention for a quick second, I hope that joke brought you back. So please make sure that you are listening to what is placed before you, but of course observing and feeling it through your body and calling in your divine assistance, so that you can, help yourself and being as clear as possible. Okay, I love how this card wants to come out like that. Do you? So that you can better understand what it is that is trying to be communicated to you. So listen with your heart and you will understand, if you remember Pocahontas. All right. Also, last thing, if you hear something and it doesn't resonate with you, especially if it gives you pause and gives you an emotional kickback, like knee-jerk reaction, or that's not for me, or I would invite you to stop and to back pocket that, because it probably is for you, especially if you noticed it, and especially if you had like a reaction to it. All right, if you spot it, you got it. Let's get started. Oh, prison? What? Caught in the ruins? Let me take a sip of tea, because it is like 6 something in the morning. And if you know me, you know I'm a morning person, but I can just as easily lay in bed. Oh, in fact, I'm sitting on the edge of my bed. Get it? All right, the question I'm getting right now is, a lot of you guys are wondering, energetically speaking, there is a wondering that has opened up within you. It's like, I used to be here. Look at this King of Roses. Look at how we have this beautiful barrier here. I'm saying barrier, but you can think of it as a castle wall. You can think of it as, no matter how I try to describe it, I'm getting the words confines. You can think of it as a castle wall, barrier, confines, but look how beautiful it looks. And in your mind, you had this energy, this place, this thing that you're like, wow, I've made it. I'm doing okay. Everything's good. So because when we see this, we expect that to be like a wall to your estate, but it's as a design, it's beautiful. But notice that when I go to explain what I'm saying, and it actually looks beautiful and you look beautiful, as I go to explain what it is, notice the words that are coming through: barrier, confines, things like that. So the sentiment, you're waking up at this point and you're realizing, how did I get from here to here? And I will, let me pull this into the light a little bit. And into the light, let me pull it into your awareness. That kind of skips ahead to the answer. How did I get from here, this great job, this loving relationship, this amazing place in my life, this amazing mentality, this and ideology, this great appearance, this great rapport, whatever, how did I get here, this freedom, this independence, to here? Now I'm perceiving of myself as being, I'm hearing the words, in a jungle. I'm hearing back in the same place I never wanted to be again. There's a resurfacing. The answer to how you got from here to here is your awareness, your perception. Listen, for many of you, you think that you made a move. I'm hearing someone say off to the side, yeah, and it's almost like the peanut gallery. That's not true. Some of us actually did make a move. And I just, part of me wants to say, I don't want to say have several seats, but it kind of feels that way, because it's like That's more the person speaking from a place of really feeling like they had done that. And you know, God is good. God, you know, God, let God tell you, God being whoever you would feel comfortable and untriggered to ascribe that energy towards source, right? Some people it's Jesus, some people it's God, some people it's the trees, some people it's their higher self, some people it's their own common sense, whatever it is that you'd like to attribute that to. Yeah, let source energy be the one to speak to you independently. But if you're on this call right now, I feel like it's more accurate to say that you haven't actually made the leaps and bounds that you might think that you have made. I'm getting so much kickback right now. It's not coming from the team because, you know, they'll reach out real quick. They're like, Jay? I'm like, huh? They're like, I'm like, oh. No. So, we may have perceived that a leap may have been made, a movement may have been made, something may have been made, and because our physical circumstances have changed and look different around us, especially if you've moved to a new location. I almost said move to a new dude. So that's coming through for somebody here. It's relationship wise. You're now in another relationship and you're like, it doesn't matter if you're on this call and you're feeling it, because I'm feeling it under the feet of everybody here. You did not make as thorough, and that's us being conciliatory, that's us appeasing, that's us meeting you halfway. You didn't make as thorough a breach to this old self or this old energy as you thought you did. And the guides are saying, yeah, otherwise, it wouldn't be here again. We wouldn't be here again because you literally would not be able to have, yeah, listen, they're keeping it real, to have channeled this message. Look, I never said I was not part of this collective. Do you guys follow me? I tell you, I always have to go back and watch the reading because this is where I get my insight too. And, you know, God is good. But, yeah, and also, so the point is, if you're able to manifest this reading towards you, if you're sitting watching it for whatever reason, it didn't turn you off, not turn you off like this ain't me, because that's not reliable, but like if you kept wanting to watch this, it just, you know, always got busy or just wasn't for you, but then you would never watch it. But here you are watching it. There's a message in here for you. There's a message in here for you. Spirit is saying all we have done is lifted the level of your tent. See this, anytime this comes up, I tell you guys, this is my guardian card. Like it's like you're talking to your guides, your guardian, your guides, your teacher guides. And so they're like lifted the tent. All we've done is lifted the tent of your awareness a little bit so that you can perceive more of what is still underneath. And listen, if if we've been chatting with me recently, look at that, clearing the way. We out here, guys. You saw me shuffle. We, capital W, all of us, we're out here talking about this. We have to, let's normalize, to use Instagram, these Instagram things. Let's normalize having stuff come back up. That's the way it sounds when I read those. Let's normalize the fact that we're interdimensional beings. We're not one-dimensional. We're not 2D. We're not flat. We're not whatever. And so when we clear away energy, heck yeah, you were able to clear away enough energy, and that's a lot. Thank you, Uranus. Thank you, Pluto. Thank you, everything else that is happening. Thank you, slaps to the face from the universe. Thank you. We were able to listen enough to make enough of an energetic change to find ourselves in physically different surroundings. But if the energy is popping back up, and it may pop up in just your consciousness, you may just feel it. It may even be so strong it starts to manifest in your life again. Oh my God, this person I'm with is now pretty much being my ex, aka dad. God bless, God bless, God bless. For some of you, mom, God bless. For some of you, both, right? Oh my God, this job was great and everything. Oh, but now the boss is trying to act up and he's trying to cut corners. He's trying to, just like where I was before. Oh my gosh, I'm being promised a contract again, but I could see they're going to rescind it. They're having me in this in between. Yes, because it's the energy. The energy, more of it is now being revealed to you. It never changed. It was always here. Listen, an iceberg is always an iceberg. What's changing is our ability to perceive of the magnitude of the iceberg, to perceive of the magnitude of the splinter that we've got going on, to perceive of the distortion / core misbeliefs that we have going on. And the way that we would perceive of that iceberg would be through better technology. And the way that we perceive of this iceberg within, these distortions, the magnitude of the misperception that we're carrying around, the magnitude of the fear-based beliefs that we carry, these are all just ways of saying the same thing, is through our clearing of our perception. So when we clear and we do our inner work, you may feel as though it's a drop in the bucket, especially when these things come right back around to us. But please know it is not a drop in the bucket. You are actively working towards clearing the density, the guides are saying. I was going to say clearing your field so that you can perceive more. But they're saying clearing the density. Yes, they're saying, what do we do when we move from 3D and we move up to 4D, 5D, 6D, whatever D you're trying to hit? You're removing the density. What contributes to the density is these core misbeliefs, these distortions. They pull us away from wholeness. They pull us away. They split us off. And that's why when we're here in these surroundings, this earthly incarnation, our job can be described in so many ways. But listen, let's not fool around. We're here today. It's almost 7 a.m. I woke up for this. I have a full day. And I just want us to say, we're trying to integrate. That's it. We're just finding the pieces of us, our fragments. And you can couch that in whatever way you want. You can talk about it in terms of psychology. You can talk about it in terms of energy work. You can talk about it in terms of galactic history and the different dimensions of Earth and how we are now in this dimension. But before we can move up to the higher dimensions, we need to collect the parts of our soul that were, you can talk about it in whatever way. But the whole point is you, meaning we at all times, we need to reclaim these parts of our consciousness. And we do that through awareness. And when we become aware of something, now we're aware, we can observe it. We can approach these parts of us in however way we want. If Spirit's like, listen, I know that you want to heal. This is what you came here for. You need to integrate the soul so that you can, recollect yourself. Recollect yourself, as the people say. Get a hold of yourself. This is it, right? Spirit's like, yeah, we know you want to come down here, but this is you now. You choose, how do I want to do it? Do I want to be open to this process? Do I want to acknowledge things that are knocking at my door to let me know? If that's the door knocking one, I'm just going to be like, I quit. Just kidding. I won't quit. If the door knocking card is in any of these, right? But look, if you, so crazy, you can choose how to do this. If you feel some stirrings within, let's be practical, because it's all about being practical. If you feel the stirrings within you, like, I'm feeling off, or I noticed this happened today in my day, it made me feel a certain type of way, made me feel, something's going on. That's where your sophistication comes in. You understand yourself. Energy creates the motion for you. Emotion creates the motion for you, and it will manifest, and you'll have thoughts along with it. So when you start to notice yourself kind of getting out of sync a bit, you start to notice, you're like, what's going on, Jay? What's going on with me? Sit with it. Oh my God, I just blew up. I just blew up at this person. Oh my God, I was passive aggressive over here. Oh my God, I just got so angry I threw down my paintbrush. I don't know. What are we doing out here? I don't know, but I needed to go for a drive. I've been distant from my partner. I yelled at my kids. I decided not to go to the gym with my buddies, this long-standing thing we do every week, because I was just feeling something. Yeah, that's the knock. The stimulus is not the problem. The stimulus is just here to say, hey, something's going on. It's like pain. It's like illness. It's here to say, hey, there's an imbalance somewhere. Whenever you feel these ways, you stop and you know yourself. You're like, look, the guides told me to be sophisticated about this. I'm being sophisticated. I feel off. I'm acting out of accordance with love. Something's going on inside. There's a distortion that is trying to make its way to me, to show me heal me, clear me, see me. So now it's my job. I've acknowledged that something's going on. Now it's my job to go into silence, however that is for me. And it is my homework to understand what works for me. If I'm still trying to find that what works for me, maybe this time I'll try sitting, being quiet, seeing if that works. Next time I'll try guided meditation. Next time I'll try rowing. Maybe I'll do painting. Maybe I'll take a long drive. It's your job to find out what activity, what action or actions, we're flexible here, create a conduit, a carrier wave along which your distortions and stuff can gently flow and be revealed to you in a greater way, that you can connect to it. Once you have that connection going, you start to bring in prayer. I would invite you to bring in prayer as soon as you get that stimulus, right? But you call more prayer in. You look at the card, next card, it's just sitting there. You reflection, you reflect on what's going on, and it is your homework again. This is where your homework comes in, right? Spirit is always here to help, but they're here to assist, put things on your plate, but you have to delve. Your homework is to, try to make meaning of that. Reach out to someone who could help you, whether it's your friendly local reader, whether it's your friendly local religious person that you really feel can move you in a certain way, whether it's a family member who's sane and capable of not making this about them and not getting triggered and not trying to tell you what they would do. Those are not the people for you. It needs to be someone who is impartial and can listen, can communicate to you what needs to be done, what in their opinion, and see what they're seeing, but not be attached to you following through on what it is that they're what's the word? I'm hearing the word subscribing. Okay. Oh, thanks guys. If you want to subscribe to the channel, God bless. But I want to say prescribing to you and whatever this, especially if you have they're so funny. I'm trying to talk to them. They're saying military leaders come correct. Somebody just said that, okay? But I was gonna say, so funny. I was gonna say, especially if you have a medical professional in your family, listen, but please understand that you have to identify their perspective, okay? It's not about dismissing people. It's about being a sophisticated, let's say, consumer of information. Discernment doesn't only come when you're watching these readings. Please let it be here, though. It comes when you're talking to people in your friendships, in your family. It comes when you're watching the news. It comes when you're looking at something outside of you. Whatever it is, it's your discernment. It is your duty to discern. If somebody told you wrong, karma doesn't care, that you got bad intel, because it's from the perspective of our higher selves and those who do tally up these karmic things and, you're learning and blah, 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 and give you the report later for your own personal growth and who you will really welcome this report from. They're looking and they see more agency within you than you would give yourself. You down here, we're like, I didn't know. How would I know? There's no way to know. They're like, actually, we're looking here and we sent you these 10 messages. We saw you receive the message and dismiss it. In this case, you perceived of that as denial, but you were not even aware you were denying. In this case, you flat out said no. In this case, we sent you 2 people. You chose to go with this person. Listen, if you think we have receipts, we know nothing about receipts. Receipts don't even exist. The receipts we know of on this planet are a shadow of what a real damn receipt is, okay? So when those receipts come in, you're not questioning at that level. So trust me when I say it would behoove all of us to reflect and to understand that we are making choices that create our reality. And that, very importantly, if you don't take anything away from this reading, very importantly, a lot of those choices are not occurring at your conscious level of awareness, because they are, but you are choosing, and the word is really the word choose. You're choosing not to see it. And in some cases, you will even realize that, oh yeah, Jay, you're right. Because when we sit down and we look, just at all your actions, and we talk about it, and we do that reverse engineering, and then it's like, oh yeah, you're right. I guess I did know. My bad. Yeah, but you see what happened was, okay, we know. Choice, okay? And sometimes if we do that, a person will look and they're like, I'm still not seeing it. But me as the reader, I'm seeing a big block right there, right in front of their eyeball, third eye. And when I feel into that, oh yeah, that's because you got mother issues. Oh yeah, that's because you had an experience unrelated. There's another scenario. You had an experience at age 16, and from then on, you made the decision that I don't want to see the truth anymore because it makes me upset. And I shouldn't be upset. This is my life. Shadow and trauma response. But at the end of the day, it is still registered as a choice at a higher level. And so when the guides talk about, with love, us becoming sophisticated in our energy, this is what they're talking about. They're talking about getting out of the sandbox, taking responsibility, and understanding that our belief that all of our choices occur at the conscious level and occur in the way that we want them to, and that we would sign off, yeah, that was a choice, is not reality. Okay? And when everyone wants to hop up to the 5D and the this D, they don't even know what D they're in right now. They don't even understand what mindset they're in. They don't see what mood they're in. They don't see what their patterns are. The guides are talking about genetics play a role as well. They're saying restorative functions will be coming in for many of you. All right. Now let me see what that means. They're pushing me off to get, DNA. It's about DNA. Thanks. Oh, they're like the repair card. See, this is right. I love how I'm shuffling. Just look for it. Right before here, I was like, when I grabbed the cards, I saw the repair card. And I was like, what? I was like, I know that. Oh, there it is. I know this deck has to come in here somehow. But now we have repair. DNA, repair. Restorative functions are genetic repairing. I was thinking reparations. Because, when we say reparations, we think of it in terms of reparations for slavery, right? Here in the United States, in case some of you don't know that. But I'm thinking, they said reparations, I'm trying to feel into that. They're like, it could be that, but that's a rabbit hole that you want to be careful, going into, guides. I said guides. Who's talking right now? Because you're now getting into past life and soul contract, and that's a lot. But they're just saying reparations. We'll leave it at that. But we're talking about thank you. They're like, we're talking about genetic restoration. Okay, and just we'll leave it at that. But that energy is coming in. That's energy. That's a blessing. Thank you, God. Thank you, spirit team. Thank you, higher selves, because they're moving towards you in a way that can create the conditions for your genetics to be restored. And you guys know we do have epigenetics that we want to look at, right? But we're also looking at DNA stuff in other ways. The guides are looking at it in a certain way. We'll leave it at that. And depending on who you are as a watcher, if you delve into DNA theory, look at this, we're talking about two worlds. Yeah, depends on who you as the watcher. Some of you go into looking at the tampering of DNA in Earth history, galactic history. Some of you are thinking about DNA in terms of our medical term of epigenetics and all that stuff. Some of you are thinking about DNA as I just want to be a superhuman. Whatever it is that you're thinking about, please understand that the message is coming through, but it's going to touch your pond of consciousness, and you're going to react to it in a certain way and assume that that you know what they're referring to, because you have a body of knowledge that you have chosen to delve into. So please, if you could, just listen to them when they say, and you saw it happening to me too, and they're like reparations. I'm like, okay, I know what this means here. And and they were like, what we're talking about. So let them tell you. Seek first to understand and then to be understood. We see this two worlds here. They're also showing this is what happens when they give us advice, when they push us, when they tell us things. We receive it, but we make it into something else. And they're saying, let's add that to the list. Because they were talking about how, remember earlier we were talking about how agency, you have more agency and more of what you do is considered a choice from a higher perspective, the higher that determine all these things and whatever, because, you receive it. But the question is, what do you do with it after? And now they're showing us that a lot of times it gets lost in our unclear thinking or misperceptions. We saw earlier it gets lost because of not even lost. Here it gets lost, but earlier it gets denied away. Sometimes it just gets flat out ignored. Sometimes you just get the two and then you're like, I'll make a choice, right? So there are things that we are doing that that stop us from being able to acknowledge and even to reconcile with this fact that they're saying right now. The fact being that we need to acknowledge that we are more in control than we choose to recognize. Okay, let me take a sip. Oh my God. Spilling the tea while I'm drinking the tea. Wow. May we move on? The willow, this is wisdom. Oh, I just heard a song. Willow tree. Can't remember it, but it was so quick. But it's a song I've been trying to remember for years. Oh, wait, what was the? Oh no! I remember it. Oh, nice. That's a nice song. Okay, look at this. This is my victory card here, but the way that it's showing the ascent, but the way that it's showing up in this reading today is showing. Whoopsie doodles. Is showing that you need to get high enough in order to see. That perspective needs to be there in order to better see what's going on. They're making a little bit of a connection here between these two cards. Here, you're cute. You're in this cute little boat reflecting. You're upon the water surface. You're chilling. You're doing you. You're reflecting upon these things that pop up for you. You're reflecting in a sophisticated way on what could possibly be going on inside of me that is giving rise to this, that is having this, number one, even manifest in my life again, and number two, and sometimes it's not just manifesting to test us all, right? It's always going to be a test in the sense that you'll always have a choice to make, and whichever dragon you feed is the one that you're going to move towards. But the more healed you get, the more into the background this appearance is. In other words, you're always going to meet tricksters along the way, but they're not going to be anything more than a blip in your life. You're like, dude, I saw that. Like, listen, when we're walking down the street, if you've ever been in New York, and certain parts of New York, you're walking down the street and there's always someone trying to sell you something. If you're in LA, downtown LA, you're walking by, you can get like 10 white t-shirts for like whatever, but you're like, hey, and you buy it, starts ripping off your shoulder, and the next day, or you buy some mixtapes, you buy some bootleg back in the day, bootleg VHS tapes, and listen, now you look around, and if you've learned, like, wait a minute, if this person's trying to hawk some wares on the side of the street, if someone's offering me a gold watch, it's not my scene anymore. You just keep it pushing. But some people will really, well, talk to me. Is this real gold? Is this something you stole and it's real gold? Or is this something, you stole and it's fake gold? Or is it, what are we talking about? How much do you want? Why is it so cheap? You're still trying to get in there. So the point is, you're always going to be exposed to everything. That's the reality. The reality is you are learning how to be a better chooser. You're learning how to make better decisions. You're learning how to discern. You're learning how to understand that certain pathways just don't bring you joy. You're learning to distinguish what actually brings you joy from what is fake joy, right? And so we're doing a lot of learning, and it's a few levels deep. And so of course things are going to come right back around to you, but the way that you measure your progress is not by whether it's appeared in your life again, but what you do with it. What do you do with it? What do you do with it? Are you taking time out? Are you acknowledging the amplitude? Are you sequestering yourself? Are you asking yourself these questions? Are you calling in your spirit team? Are you doing your due diligence to tap into your eternal wisdom? Are you doing your due diligence to ask spirit to help elevate you in consciousness so that you can get a better perspective of what's going on. See here, there you are, super cute in a boat. And over here you are with the help of spirit and your higher self, which is interdimensional. You are tapping into yourself at a higher dimension. Remember, when you're in the third dimension, let's just think about dimensions in general. At the third dimension, you're able to perceive of the first dimension and the second dimension. From a third point perspective, you're able to perceive of more. If you're tapping into your higher self, and that higher self is at a much higher dimension, guess what it's seeing? Now, it may need to tap into a higher dimension of its own in order to see where it's at, but it can definitely see where you're at. And that's why it's important to consult with the self at a higher dimension. You call upon your spirit team, you call upon your higher self to help you to get a better perspective. That's what we do when we're trying to they're saying thank you when we're trying to raise the harmony. When we're raising the harmony, that's beautiful, because it implies the process of raising your own vibration so that you may harmonize with things at a higher level, right? And when you raise your own vibration, it creates an opportunity for those around you to then raise their own so that they can be in harmonic resonance with you. So when guides are saying we can help you raise your harmonics, raise your harmony, they're actually saying a lot, but one of those things that they're saying is that by doing so, you will have access to a higher perspective and be able to move within a deeper framework of understanding. And right now we love to go deep because we love to go higher, but you're not only going higher, but you're also allowing for a deeper awareness. And we want to go deep because guess what's deeper than we thought? This distortion, this wound, this shadow energy, this old stuff that we thought we had healed. No, it's still there. It's just we weren't able to perceive of it because we were at a certain harmony. We were at a certain level of perception, and we're not going to poo on where we are and where we've been, because no, that was higher than where we were in the past. And so now we're ready to go higher. And so these energies are making themselves known because they're now coming into our purview. Why? Because we have raised to a certain degree. We have made some headway, and now we can perceive of more. We call on our guides to help us perceive even more. When these energies come and make themselves known to us, we start to delve into it anew, right? And so that's where we're at here. The Buddha prepares. Ooh, wants to come with this card. What is this? I knew it. I was just going to say, I knew it. Because when I turned this over, I was like, oh, that wasn't the door knocking card. And here's the door knocking card, okay? The Buddha prepares, right? Look, when we're underneath this tree of wisdom and we have the perspective that's needed because we've called it in, guess what we're now able to see? We're able to see more of what the distortion is, more of what the core misperception is, more of what the core belief that is based upon fear is, more of where we chose, here's the C word again, chose along our interdimensional line to believe in fear instead of love. That's all the same way of saying the same thing. And when we start to allow these things to be made known to us, in other words, when we start to cast our eyes upon it, guess what starts knocking? These distortions start coming up again, rearing their ugly head. And then we're like, if we're in ego, we're like, oh, old dude started, trying to come back, or old girl started trying to come back, and they're talking. No, forget these people. They're not doing anything. It's not about you. Get out of the ego. All that's happening is, hey, you made a little headway, and now you're able to see more of your distortion, and it's starting, and the question is, what are you going to do about it? It's starting to manifest, and it's manifesting in some of the same people, some of the same emotions, some of the same opportunities, some of the whatever. Now, every now and then, let's chat. Every now and then, we need to distinguish between what is old and, thank you. It's like we could say, okay, well, maybe this is just, maybe maybe it's not that the old thing is coming back up again, and because it was never healed. Maybe it's just that I'm still perceiving of it of this way or this whatever, and it's healed, and I'm just no. The guides are saying at the end of the day, if you're still donning, I love that word, donning, if you're still donning that perception, even in a blink of an eye, if you could have that feeling, that emotional response, that I again, that I, letter I, that me again, but I was thinking that I, EYE again, you got it. If you spot it, you've got it. What are you going to do about it, is what Spirit is saying. Acknowledge, go deeper, to understand, do the reflection process. Now, let's talk about it. Do you have a reflection starter kit? Cute. What's the reflection starter kit? Great question. Well, I would say that the reflection starter kit is basically a set of tools that you have collected for yourself for going inward. We're all so lovely. We're all so different. We have a belief in having a co-creative existence, and so we are having a co-creative existence. But we are also very much having a very individualistic experience. You could be sharing the same time and space as someone else and be living a completely different reality. And that is when you realize that you are sovereign. Okay? When you don't realize how sovereign you are, you fall into beliefs that you're being swept along with other people and this and that. Yeah, because you are going to be swept along with other people until you realize that you don't need to be. All right. And when you realize you don't need to be, guess what else goes out the window? The sob stories, the victim stories, they did this and they're keeping me here and this and that. Listen, but you got to work the insides, your inner selves. Look, oh, cute. Look at them. Aw, all in alignment. Can you imagine all of them doing a different pitch, like, ah, and coming together to be like, ah. It's cute. That's alignment. That's harmonic resonance. When we are collecting these parts of ourselves, all we're saying is like, hey, love you, where you at, where you been, come together. That's here. Look at the cute little boat that you're in. Look at the lights are on. It's kind of like you have a loudspeaker. Hello. I'm here to collect you, come gather your things. And they're shouting from the window, I'm not ready because I feel this way about you. And you're like, well, come, dear part, I understand. But you see, you are watching it wrongly. I actually do love you. I know I cast you out at age 7 because they're like, right, you did. And you're having this conversation with this part of you. And when you convince this part of you that you are now safe enough to inhabit again, that the thing that they really want and that they're searching for is something you've already connected to, the higher ups, the higher self, and they're ready to get rid of all this old stuff and clinging to the old, this fragment of you, this consciousness of you, this aspect of you, many times past lifetime aspects, they're going to be ready. All right, I'm ready. I shall walk out onto the plank, onto the docks. Come pick me up. And ring, you have repair occur. You have integration occur. You activate parts of you because this part of you is carrying certain skills and certain consciousness and certain levels. So when we integrate the soul, when we're picking up these fragments, these shards, we're trying to do this as much as we can while we're down here. We're trying to collect as many parts of us as we can. And some of these parts that you're collecting are not even energetically here on the surface here. It's on different planets. It's on different whatever. But time and space knows no barrier. You could call it for you soul retrieval. Excuse me. So, there is so much. And when you really start opening yourself up to the myriad healing abilities that are healing modalities that are here for you, only one of which is working with your friendly local reader. Hi. You will be surprised. And you will realize, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I wanted a bagel with cream cheese and had the thought. And I was like, oh my God, I wish I had a bagel with cream cheese, and I totally forgot about it 3 days later. One of our coworkers brings a whole bunch of bagels and schmears, and I've gotten what I wanted 3 days ago, and I forgot that this is what I wanted, but I manifested this, and I didn't even know. And the guides, the universe is like, all right, we had you. You're looking, you're looking right at it, but you didn't. Okay, whatever, we got you. You can have what it is that you're asking for. The problem is, manifestors, we're always manifesting. The problem is we forget that we're interdimensional beings with a whole bunch of soul fragments that are in need of healing because the distortions are so huge. The trauma is there from these different lifetimes as well. Some of these aspects are even from this lifetime when you had these traumas occur. You've put it out, you've disowned it, and it's out there. And you forgot that they also have powers to call in things too. And so now you are having these experiences, watching things on the news you would rather never be associated with. How could people do this to each other? I don't know. Have you sat down and looked in the mirror, closed your eyes, and actually delved inside? And then you brought up that one lifetime over there that you were doing the same damn thing, and that you're still... It's so out of your mind now that you've disowned it, but here it is in your daily life, showing up in a news report to let you know, hey, this energy is still active within your field. You have the energy of that energy that was passing. You were in poverty in so many lifetimes, and here you are rich in this lifetime, but you have a poverty mindset. I wonder why, right? It's your job. If you spot it, you've got it, okay? And sometimes you've got it and you refuse to spot it. That's denial. You get confused about it. That's confusion as a form of denial. Yeah, he does love me. Yeah, he's just whatever, he's just going through some things. I'm just like, if he, he still, messages me. Yeah, dude, you haven't heard from that man in a week. Yeah, but he's still like, he's not talking to anybody else. You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, confusion. Confusion. Okay? Because you're confused about what love is. You're confused about what you desire. You're confused about the idea that that's going to be fulfilling enough for you. You're just confused. You're confused. Confusion is ringing through your being and you're not aware of it. So what else are we confused about? Do you really want to buy that house? You think you want that house because everyone else has a house. What if you really were clear about who you are and what you wanted out of life and what was the best for you? Your guides are looking at you and loving you, and they just love you. They see you. They're like, she doesn't even want a house. She thinks she wants a house. Oh, yeah, she thinks it's so much she's going to go ahead and buy one. And then she's going to realize 5 years into this 30-year mortgage, she actually never wanted one. Especially when we start sending her these answers to her career dreams that she wanted. She always says she wants to travel and she wants to write and she wants to do all this, and here it is, we're going to send it. Now she's locked down with this house, and then it starts to leak and all these things so that they can push her out of the house so that she can follow her dreams. But she still hasn't seen it. Now she's turned down that journalism job that would have taken her around the world, and she could have stayed in different houses for free because the job would pay for that. And you see, you got to understand, guys, that we're always choosing. And I know we're talking about week 3 right now, but these energies are around. It's funny because I'm looking off to the left randomly, not randomly, and this cute little card is coming in. These energies are around us. See how it's like, it's standing right in front of our eyes. The energies are like, yes, pick me, we're here. I'm here for your dreams. But you see her eyes, you can see her eyes because she's looking right through her dreams, right through the health and well-being, right through the abundance, right through the happiness and emotional fulfillment. Because why? She's still in shadow. This 2 worlds card is very powerful. So Spirit is saying, so they're so funny the way they're saying, so when we knock, that's the way God, when we knock, because here's a knock. You better listen, okay? When you hear the knock, when you're grumpy, when you are feeling aches and pains, when you're confused today, when somebody lashed out at you, when you lashed out at someone else, when you missed an opportunity, when you whatever, invitation to inquiry, that's a knock. Maybe today we need to start asking Spirit, hello, dear God. All of a sudden they're English with a fake accent. What is a knock? What, I ask, is a knock? Put your hand over your head in a dramatic way. I wonder, what is this knock of which you speak? Look, I just did this and it's the same. It's the same. What is this knock of which you speak? Right? Oh my God, what is this card? I don't know what this card is, guys. Let's totally guess. I'm just going to guess because it's the only other card that came into my mind. And I was like, is it that one card with the 2 the lady with two sides. I don't know, whatever. Anyone else want to guess? Guess a symbol that, or any energy or whatever that could be on this card. And I'll give you 5 seconds. 7 seconds. Okay. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What is it? Oh, the treasure. We're all wrong. Okay, well, I clearly am not qualified for this job. Just kidding. The treasure. Oh, man. I kind of was hoping it was the other one. I'm just kidding. I don't know why, because we already have a 2 worlds. But the treasure card is kind of awesome, right? It's showing this. Wait, can you guys even see this? Let me stand up for a second. Maybe. Okay. This. Whoops. I'm standing precariously here. This man is in his room and he's like, something's amiss. Oops. Something is amiss. I'm looking for something. I know I'm looking for something. I don't know what. I'm in the treasure chest, but it's not here. I've turned over my armoire. I've actually turned over a chair physically. I've looked everywhere. Everything's, what's going on? I've got this light here, but he doesn't know. You know, we're looking. We're like, look behind you. It's behind you. No. Behind your right. No, the other right. By the door. There it is. That small treasure chest that you probably can't see because it's like so, it's so far. Right? It's like, it's singing to him. It's sending out a harmony. But he's not aligned enough. He's not of the alignment yet in order to hear it. Right? And so we have to ask Spirit. It starts with, please, higher self, Spirit team, dear God, Archangel Michael, me is in yourself. Ask yourself, dear me, please. Please help me to align with the highest source of love that I can. That will get you right in there. Please help me to align with my divinely contracted spirit team. That'll get you right in there. Please help me to align with the highest potentials for myself. That'll get you right in there. All we're trying to do is get into the stream. Please, God, align me. Or, you know, I love saying this. Please let my will be your will. And not like, hey, God, I'm going to need you to fall in line with my will. It's not, you know, the English language, sometimes you have to be careful, but that's not what I mean. It's like, I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to understand, but I understand that I can't know because I'm kind of running blind down here. But I know that if I set my compass to the higher will, the will that is in the best interests of myself, which is you, God, and higher self, that it can lead me out of the dark, okay? And so I ask, please, to be moved into alignment with that. I ask to be positioned divinely in order to be able to receive that which is best for me. But part of that is understanding that you're going to be shown what it is you probably don't want to see. You're going to be shown what's going on, what you're doing. Well, here's what you're doing. Here's why you're doing it. And we want you to understand that we're here to reflect that for you. And we're going to go ahead and send you a couple events just to drive it home for you. If you can stay committed to seeing what those events represent for you on your sacred journey, we're here to talk you through it, to walk you through it, to be with you through it. And we'll give you the higher perspective. But we don't want you quitting on us because you just realize that you might have to take a step back from this connection or from romance altogether for a little bit of time, or that you're going to have to choose not to take this career that you think is going to be so good for you, all of that. You can't ask us for help and perspective, and then when we give it to you, you're backing out. I mean, you can, but if you do that, please understand that now you're acting outside of the scope of what we agreed to, and so therefore we can, you know, just like a company, we cannot guarantee the results. Right? So you're being asked, as they always say, damn, surrender defensiveness, get it? That's me. I'm usually, God, I got this. So defensive. I try. But I don't got it. But they always say, all you're being asked to do is to show a little bit of willingness. And you know what that willingness shows up for? It's setting the intention. God, let your will be my will. I'm here. Do with me as you will. I'm trying. I'm here. I don't know what's up, but I've showed up. And I'm barely here, God, but I've showed up. Okay. Can I get an amen? You can come with that. And the other part is, oh my God, I'm seeing this. I feel overwhelmed. I don't know what, but I'm going to put one foot forward. That's it. The willingness to get started. Let me change that. The willingness to be shown the way. Almost immediately, a knock comes. Oh, I wish God would show me. Who that? Yes, you know who that is. You know who that is. It is your shadow made manifest in your ex. It is your shadow made manifest in your argument that you will have today. It's your shadow made manifest in, in what? That realtor that you're going to be working with that reminds you so much of your aunt who was actually your father in another lifetime. Come right back around, right? This is what the knock is. It's coming to show you. So be open, right? So your willingness is twofold. The willingness to be shown when the knock comes, got it, get it. And your willingness to stay committed. Yeah, it's okay. You took a step back this weekend because this is too much, but you better recommit. If you would like to go the distance, and if you choose not to, it's understandable because it's too much for you right now and it's not something you are willing to, it's the willing word, you can't get around it. You can say comfortable. I'm not comfortable doing it, so I'm not willing to. I'm not ready to do this right now, aka I'm not willing to, right? Will. Will is what compels us forward. I'm afraid, so I'm willing to get that out of here, okay? People say fear is a motivator. Yeah, it pushes you so that your will is oriented to making your way out, right? If you can sit and understand the role that the will plays, you will be closer and subconsciously, unconsciously go deeper. You will be closer to understanding, just a little bit closer, understanding how spirit considers will and agency and choice to be a factor, okay? What's this? Surrender to what is. What else? I almost said what else? I knew it. I hate this card. I always get this card because I'm very stubborn. I'm sorry. Oh, there's a card wanting to approach. Oh my God, is it the miracles card? Yes. Tears. Early morning tears. Oh my God. Tears for fears. Listen. See this combination right here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. They haunt us. Defensive energy. My God. Okay, I struggle with that. Yeah. You want to say something? All right. You. Okay. But I'm like, okay, I understand because I do have some Libra, so it comes out nicely, but inside I'm like, right? And so the guides are like, okay, we asked you to do this because you asked us to ask you, and then we just asked you, but you want to play. All right, Janelle. And I'm like, I resentment. Yes. Why do I always have to do this? I hate this. This is blah, blah, blah. And I hate people. And if you really getting to that level, surrender to what it is. I don't accept this. This is not what I want. Nope, I will not acknowledge it. Stubbornness. And it's this right here is a deadly 4-item combo that doesn't even come with fries. It doesn't. Okay? It doesn't. But this right here, I love it. This is one of, like, if you're playing spades and you're like, bam, what is it, the ace card that blows everyone out of the water? This miracles card is a godsend, and I'll tell you why. A Course in Miracles. Sorry, guys. I love that. I love that book. The question is, like, Jay, why aren't you reading that book right now? I'm working on it. I'm doing it. But listen, A miracle is a change in perception. That change is not something you can make. A miracle cannot be made by you because you, meaning me, we, guess what? We can't see. We can't see. We think we're seeing, we think we're thinking, we think we're believing stuff, we think we're feeling stuff. No. No. How does that hit you? If you got indignant at the word you at any point in this, like when I'm saying you, defensiveness, okay? Don't make it about the pronouns. Make it about you. Own it. If you feel, well, I've been doing stubborn, defensive, resentment, not accepting something. So we have to ask. It's like those cute little puppy buttons, like, I'm hungry, food, now, right? Simon says, right? It's just a combination of these four. And Spirit is saying that when we allow Spirit to come in, when we allow higher energies, Jesus is said to be the soul of Jesus that people refer to as Sananda. That's a name, we don't know. You don't have to believe, whatever, do you? Okay. Do you? We're going to monitor any defensiveness because a lot of people have programming, religious programming in their background. So that word is going to kick up some stuff. But his soul is said to have channeled A Course in Miracles. All right. Now, it doesn't matter who channeled it. It doesn't matter, whatever. Get out of here and understand what the message is. Surrender to what the message is. The message is, listen, you can have a change in perspective, completely wipe away all of these core misbeliefs. And all it's doing is waking you up to realizing that what you believe to be true was never true. It's a story. You're standing alone in an asylum, in a straitjacket, talking to yourself, walking around, doing all this, believing in this full world and blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, the guides are lovingly watching you because they're just waiting for you to realize, oh, shoot. Oh my God, I'm populating my own world with this perspective. So they're like, a change in perspective is all you need. Sorry. I'm so bad because I'm really hitting this home. So surrender to miracles means surrender to the divine, the higher self, to be able to lift you out of your distortions. And that's why, just as A Course in Miracles tells us, just willingness, just be willing. Willingness. So maybe you can start answering the call, what is willingness for me? Everything is always going to have to be for you because, this is you. What does it mean to be willing for you? For you, it could be willing to give up the idea that you think you know what's best for you, that you think you are seeing what you're seeing. You think for sure that your father or mother said this and they meant this and that's what they meant when they and the boss, and you think all of that. But miracles, the change in perspective will show you no. I'll leave you one quick story because I do have to go. I have a huge day ahead and God is good, and so do you guys, and so are you. You could hate your neighbor, literally living next door to somebody, because you moved in. Like, dude, I moved in 5 years ago, and this guy, I've told this story before, this narrative before, this anecdote didn't happen to me, but I moved in, and this person is such a jerk. It's this guy who lives next door, and he's just cold. He doesn't talk to me when I say good morning. He turns his back. I think he may have even pushed my bins off from in front of his lawn, and dude, I didn't put my bins there. The garbage, the sanitation workers put it there when they were done. You don't have to be a jerk about it. And and this person, you found stuff, and you're just your dog, my God, wandered into this yard one day, and you're surprised that you didn't kill the dog. It's why is this person so mean? And there you are 5 years later. They're showing me this person. Thank you. Some visuals. Why is this person so mean? Thank you, sir, for lending your visage. Why is this person so mean? He's such a jerk. I hate this neighbor. I'm not letting my kids and my dog like trick-or-treat at their house because the dog likes to trick-or-treat too, apparently. And then, you have one of your other neighbors, super kind, come over, and, one day, 5 years after moving in, totally hating this guy, you guys just get to talking, and you're cooking, and a neighbor kind of starts talking about your neighbor. This neighbor you have over talks about this cranky old neighbor that you just can't stand. And then you let loose. You're like, I'm tired of this. I got to tell it to somebody other than my kids and my husband and my dog. And the neighbor's like, oh, this guy? Oh, yeah, he's not very nice and stuff. But, he used to be really nice. And then his wife died, shortly before you came. And, like, it just changed everything. And now he just, he's just a shadow of who he was. He doesn't talk to anybody. I heard even his kids struggle to come by. He's fallen out with a lot of people. I heard that he's kind of like a recluse now. And he's just getting older, and like, we get cranky, and I think, who knows, maybe, I don't know, that's him. So I guess just don't worry about it. Just stay out of his way. And, you're like, oh, well, whatever. Later on, you're starting to think, maybe it even takes later when your husband like has a little bit of a health scare, and you're like, oh, he's better now. And what would I have done if I lost him? And, and then you start to think in your bed, and you're like, oh my God, if I lost him, that would have been my life. I don't know how it would have been very hard to pick up. And then you of course, your guides ever at the ready, they start pumping your mind full of your neighbor. And then you start realizing, oh my God, I'm not living next to a horrible person. I've been perceiving it that way. But the truth is that this person is a lovebird without its mate. This person's wife died suddenly, and that person's wife was their life, and they're having to navigate. And it was only 5 years ago, and when I moved in, it was only 6 months after. And here I am with my happy family and my kids and my bouncy dog and my husband, and we're kissy huggy and loading up the minivan and experiencing all this life, and he's dealing with death. And I realize, oh my God, I've done nothing but make it worse for this person, talking about them, maybe even, wishing a little ill will, not meaning to, but, I've complained even to, I don't know, let's pretend you have HOA, Homeowners Association, and they, and then you suddenly realize, oh my God, I had no idea that this is what was really happening in this situation. The guide said, in this society. Ooh, they're speaking. They're like, this is what happens in this society. We don't see beyond our ego. We don't see beyond our treatment and our feelings of entitlement and what's going on. Everything about us as children is all about us. Ooh, he's showing the knock. Let's take a moment. Let's keep an eye. Is anyone here feeling defensive? Anyone feeling like they can't accept? Anyone feel denial? Is anyone feeling stubborn about the story? Anyone feeling resentful because you're identifying with this person in the story? Yeah, well, blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe if he had been... if you're feeling any of these big four feelings, please stop. This is your knock. It's time to go inside because you have a distortion that's going on, okay? So Spirit is saying in that moment, the miracle is she had an awareness. She had a change in perspective that came in for her. And all of a sudden it wiped away not only the last 5 years, because she was dropped into her heart, especially when her husband almost died, God bless, right? He's okay now, God bless, he's okay. Especially when that happened, now she realizes, oh my God, I didn't lose my mate, but that guy next door did. What I'm seeing is not a bully. I'm seeing a man whose life is in disrepair. I'm seeing a man who is in shambles. I'm seeing a man who probably wakes up wanting to die and not get up. And here I am making it about me because I have a different situation, and that is my projection. And at the end of the day, it really, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter anymore to me, because I just learned this story, and it was enough with my own personal experience to trigger a change in perspective and to trigger the big C, compassion, big E, empathy, big U, understanding, And maybe the big P, prayer for this person. And maybe the big A, taking action to be an instrument of peace in the life of this person. And to F, forgive this person. And it happens just like this. It's so clear sometimes that these miracles, these changes in perception are so thorough sometimes that we not only absolve these people of what happened, because now we get to see from a wider perspective, thanks to God. But then it's so thorough that we look at ourselves, and if you're really a G, you start looking at yourself like, dude, was I being a bully? Yeah, sure, I didn't know, but does it give me the right to be the way I was being? Was I overreacting? You may, as you're watching this story, if you're in any of these big four energies, you might be like, no, I wasn't. He was being so-and-so, and I had to, okay, but if you're in your heart, you realize, oh, I'm sure there were places that I could have done better. I'm sure that I was moved by my own shadows, and ignorance is the word that wants to come through, to be an instrument of chaos in my own life and the life of other people, because you're only responsible for what you put out there. And listen, you may quote ignorance here, but ignorance is not a justification in the same way as we would think it would be from a higher perspective. Because remember, from a higher perspective, they register agency and choice and volition and acknowledgement in a different way than we do. So you may see yourself as having been ignorant, but from their perspective, you were not ignorant because you stopped right before you passive aggressively put your bin a little bit closer than you stopped. You stopped and then stomped off and tried to close the door a little bit louder than you usually would have. It's these little micro things that will tell you where your heart and mind were or were not at that time. And see, they see all these things. And who's they with a capital T? It's your higher self, your spirit team. Oh, I'm blocking the light. God bless. Oh my God, I'm a shadow. Right? So you have to understand, guys, whatever. You have to understand that it's deeper than you think. When you hear someone say, God, relax, it's not even that deep. Stop. It is that deep. You're just not that deep. Okay? Sorry. Oh my God, these channelings, these early morning burns, I just do much, right? And I have to laugh because I know I'm going to watch this video later. And then I'd be like, yeah, but I find myself slipping in, But this is it. This is being sophisticated about your energy. This is about understanding. Listen, we're all innocent, and therefore we're all not innocent. Okay? We're all innocent. We're all in distortion, but we're all in distortion, but we're all in distortion. Okay? Yes, even you. If you just had a quick moment, but nope, even you. We're all in distortion. We're in distortion, and we're talking about distortion, which means that we can't really see the level of distortion, but we can talk about it at the level that we find ourselves. So your homework as we go into week 3 is to try to locate where you are. Okay. Blink twice if you need help. So this is where we are going to leave you today, surrendering to your full power. Thanks, guides. They're so great. And they're saying your full power comes with a full understanding that you are not seeing the picture properly, that you have a lot of distortion still there, that you are acting out in ways in the world that are creating your own experience, that things are happening the way that things are not happening the way that you are seeing them. You're just seeing them a certain way, that you are being asked to bring vulnerability in. And this is the vulnerability. Understanding that it's different. It's just not what you think it is. And if you can open yourself up to that reality that, oh, okay, I'm feeling this way. In fact, the next card is literally emotion. I'm feeling this way. I'm having a perception of this, but it's not what's actually happening. I'm going to go ahead and consult my higher self to understand what's happening. They will assist me in emptying out. Oh my gosh, these cards are just made for it. And that's what I'm looking for, inner integration. That's what I'm here for. Let me stay focused. let me keep my eye on the prize. I'm here to integrate these parts of me. So guess what? That neighbor who realized what was going on, just because she received a piece of information that gave her a little bit of a higher perspective to what was going on, she was not only able to absolve her neighbor of all these perceptions and projections she made about him as being this big bully, nightmarish hellion of a neighbor, she was also able to look at herself and through the eyes of love really consider, well, is this the kind of person that I was being? What was I being? And you know, if she wants to be a real G and she wants to take it a step up, she can go ahead and ask, the way that I was being, is this how I want my child to be treated if they lost their loved one, if they were my neighbor? And they found themselves in that circumstance and could barely manage in the day. How would I feel about a neighbor of theirs being the way that I was being? And this is why we say, do unto others as we would have done unto us. Because from way up, the guides are showing the yes energy here. Because way up, way up, the perspective really pans out to showing that we are all one. But down here, especially where we are in the densest of places in this third dimension, guys, we're seeing duality. We're not even seeing duality. We're seeing multiplicity. We're seeing me and the other and I and the other. There is no I, there is no other. And maybe you can start on that road by understanding, if you spot it, you got it. Yeah, you see something about, God bless, a mass murder on TV, makes you angry, makes you feel a certain type of way. I invite you to come for past life reading. Let's talk about it. Okay. I know it sounds bad. Listen, we're out here. If you want to really understand what's going on with your energy field, let's talk about it. Okay. Anyway, gotta go. God bless. Oh my God, 1 hour, 11 minutes and 1 second. Thank you, team. They're such great channelers. God is good. They bring it through. They keep it light. They keep it interesting. They keep it solid. And the narrative is great. We love you, spirit teams. Thank you so much. And let's, here on the ground, guys, let's do our best. God is good. Oh my God, look at this last card. Oh my God, I could keep pulling cards. You don't even have to shuffle. Ah, cute. Holy love. Okay. No excuses. Let's move forward. All right, troops, let's rally. Okay, rally. What does rallying look like? Like this, yeah, let's rally. All right, if you'd like to have a personal reading with me or an energy healing session with me via Zoom, you know where to find me. Check my Etsy link. All is there. God is good, and so are you. Bye. Mwah.